Now I got the priming done a few days ago, so it's had a good couple of days to sink in and dry up nice. Prior to that, the underfloor heating was on, so that I had to make sure that that cooled right down, so that's why it's been primed a few days prior and had a few days to cool right down, because as you know, you can't tile on a floor that has underfloor heating on. It's a big job. Let's not beat around the bush, it's a big job. There's a lot that could go wrong, but as you know, we don't think like that. It's all positive. Now, I have got a few joints between the screed, and the reason they put the joints in the screed is to help with expansion and contraction. Now, with new screeds, they always do crack. They'll find the weakest point and crack. Generally, between doorways. As the screed wraps round, that's the weakest point. So if you have a big slab against another big slab, somewhere in the middle, you're going to get a crack. Now, as you can see there is joints all the way through to separate both sides of the screed, and we have them all along the doorways, which is the best place, because then we can hide that with our grout joints and make it look as nice as possible. So the setting out has to be really taken from those points. Now I'll have a play around and make sure that everything fits the best way, and I'll treat it like it's my own. And now it's important to put an uncoupling membrane down when you're tiling with underfloor heating, because the screed is going to expand and contract with the temperatures of the underfloor heating. Now, if you do get a crack in your screed and you don't use a membrane, what will happen is that crack will go through to the tile, because the weakest point between the tile and the floor, believe it or not, is the adhesive bed, and that's where it will come loose. So, to avoid any damages to the tile and to make it last a lifetime, put the matting down. And that's what I'll be doing today, is getting all this area matted. And then the fun will begin. Go, 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 go. This is the product that I'm using, and as you can see there, it's a decoupling mat. Waterproof decoupling mat to prevent tiles from lateral substrate movement and problematic floors. 150 meters there of product, which is sufficient for this floor, as it will lead throughout the whole of the ground floor. So here I'm just measuring out the material, cutting it to the correct length, and then I can cut into the matting to notch round the 2 openings that you see there. So you'll see I'm pushing all the matting tight to each other to close up the joints. Now there's a reason for this that you'll see later on in the video. There's a method I've always used with this matting, to fold it over to the end of the wall, pick it up and cut from underneath. Simples. And here he is. The main man, my father. It's good to have him here helping me out, and plus it keeps him out of trouble. So we're cutting in the last part of the matting before we can start sticking in, but I also leave a gap around the perimeter edge. I don't take the matting tight to the perimeter. I always leave enough of a gap, 5-6 mil gap, just to help with the expansion and contraction. So where we've just cut that piece into the sliding doors, we're now using the offcut to go up to the 2 pillars, and it fits just right. So I like to peel back the material and fold it onto itself. That way, once I've glued the area, the matting stays in position and it will go back to where it was originally laid. Now I've used this tool a number of times on floors of this size. It really does help get the adhesive down and onto the floor a lot quicker, therefore the product will not skin over. So product management is key on a job this size. Now we're currently getting 6 to 7 square meters of coverage from a bag of adhesive. I think that's pretty good going. There's a little bit of a knack to using this tool. You've got to hold it at the right angle just so that you can get the correct depth of adhesive. So my dad is just making sure that that adhesive doesn't go into that joint where the 2 screeds meet. It's important to stay away from that and not have any adhesive go in there. Now they always say you need the right tools for the job, and it's pretty much true. Now this roller that my dad's using, pushing the matting into the adhesive, is just making sure that we've got 100% contact between the matting and the subfloor. My father, it's just under 100 metres in this room. We've just got that room to finish with a bit of matting. But it makes light work with that roller, that squeegee. It's a 4mm notch, or 3mm notch actually, which is sufficient for this. So if you've made it this far, please drop Primo in the comments, just so I know you're watching right to the end. Like always, there's no pressure, but if you'd like to subscribe, please do. But I'll catch you on the next one. Ciao for now.